because it's still difficult. So she changed the theme on me, so I had to kind of rework some stuff. Still got my mask because when I think about the word paint is to cover.
Yeah.
To change something, to alter something, or to mask something. So, kind of, I'm trying to be before you all long, but I'll talk about. So I sat here and I had a conversation with Charlotte and Lasagna, and I asked them, because I know what I would say, and I'm quite sure these words resonate with anybody on a daily basis, but definitely with domestic abuse or domestic violence survivors. When we're in a situation and where we're in a domestic situation and we have issues, these are some of the words, that we feel when we're actually going through it. So like, the reason why we may not tell somebody is because we're embarrassed. We're insecure. Low self-esteem. Suicide. We're humiliated. Anger. Whatever happened. But when you have somebody like me, and I like to hide, as y'all can see, I'm not a professional artist.
You doing good?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I might try to take an art class after this. Okay. So, for the most part, you all can't see these words now, right? But this is what we do. We cover our emotions. We cover our feelings. So the next person does not see, know, understand that we're actually going through what we're going through. And this is where the problem comes in at. Because we feel like that we don't have any help. We feel like that nobody will understand. We feel like we're going to be judged. We feel like somebody's going to laugh at us. We feel like somebody's going to talk about us and tell us how stupid we are for staying with that person because they've never walked an inch in my shoes. So what I do, because I said I am an advocate, I've become the voice to help male, female, woman, child, to know that they don't have to mask what they're feeling. I come here for somebody who may be in a situation now, and you may still be hiding and masking stuff, to know that there are people like myself who don't know you from a can of paint or a tube of paint. I'm a listening ear. I can get you to the resources that can get you your help. Because in the midst of that, we need to stop wearing masks. Bruise mask. In actuality, this is kind of backwards.
That's good.
Because for the most part, this mask is really behind my current face because you can't see it. Because I cover it. I cover it with makeup, I cover it with attitude. I miss work. I don't come around. I disappear for a season. I'm not talking to you. You wonder why I'm not answering your phone call. Because I can't have you see me like this.
All right.
Bruised and battered. But see, the thing about bruises is they heal. But what's happening with my emotions? What's happening with my heart? What's happening with my mind? So, this is bruised. This one has a hand on his face, and I have to thank my little sister. She's a terrific artist. This won't be like her. I'm going to take classes for her so I can do better. This is Kyler. As you can see, there's a hand right here. I actually have canvases that she painted too. So like if I had like easel up here, these actually would sit in the middle of the easel, so there's stuff around it. So there's an arm that extends right here. But you know, when we get tired, we rest on our face. We do this. How many times have you been tired, but you have to keep pushing? I know for me, and it ain't even necessarily about abuse these last few months, I'm just tired of life. I'm tired of getting hit from every angle. I don't have no peace at home, I don't have no peace at my job, I don't have no peace in my life, and I gotta get up every day and do the same thing over and over again because everybody expects me not to quit. But who helps me when I'm tired? Who helps me? And that's my problem. The reason why I did masks, and I'm glad that Lakeisha had this for masquerades, because it's really opened up a lot of things for me, because for years I've worn masks, even after the fact, because I still got people who looking up to me and want me to do stuff. But when I get tired, who do I go to? And that's what we have to learn. We have to hook up with people who really encourage or can encourage us when we're not feeling our best. When I get tired, I need somebody I can lean on, because what I've done is this past year, I've lost relationships because I started to crumble. I started to break down. I'm tired of wearing masks. So when I cry and I'm not that strong person, people look at me, well, you changed. You're not the same. It's not necessarily that I changed. I've been wearing these for so long, or at least one that shows that I'm happy when I'm really not, that you just expect me to be happy all the time. And now I can't do it no more. So in 2020, I'm unmasking Renee. Renee needs help. Renee needs somebody that she really knows. So this is helping me, and I'm hoping that it's helping somebody here in the room too. So this was Stoneface. My idea for this when I gave her my vision was, you guys remember, because all of us probably about the same age. I don't necessarily tell my age, but you know, we probably all about the same age. Anybody remember the Fantastic Four? Y'all remember Thing? So how many times have we all sit up in a place and like somebody always asks me what's wrong, and you just got this look on your face? I call it rest in peace face. And you don't want nobody bothering you, you don't want nobody talking to you. You got this stone look on your face, and you just really don't want to be bothered. And then finally they just walk away and leave you alone. When in actuality you do need help. In actuality you need somebody to talk to. So when do we get to chisel away from the stone and uncover ourselves so somebody can really help us? This one is cracked. This is when you look in a mirror and you don't necessarily like what you see, but you make your face up anyway because you know you got to go out in public. But you have imperfections, you have flaws, you have things like that. I call them cracks because you sometimes, if you know, if you cake on your makeup too much, it'll start creasing in certain areas if you don't know how to apply makeup properly, and that's what a cracked face is. Last but not least, and this is the one I really want to hit home with people, because we know that unfortunately, especially us that are on the journey, walking the mission, looking at this stuff daily, watching things on Facebook, watching things in the news, there are times that people don't make it out. I could have not made it out. It's not too many people I know other than 50 Cent and maybe another handful of people that can say they've been shot more than one time and survived. So, this face is the face of death. And when we keep quiet, and we don't talk about it, and this goes for anybody, somebody who's in it, out of it, you know somebody, don't know nobody, the fact being that we all need to lock arms throughout the country, throughout the world, because what I did find out, or what I began to realize, is domestic violence is 365. It has no color, creed, gender, anything else. It can happen to anybody and everybody. And if we're not careful, we will have more of this than we expect. I just got a text message from my godmother who's in Mississippi, and I didn't know. It's funny how people are connected. I have a bonus daughter who lives in Champaign, and she's joined my flight because it was her little sister that committed suicide. So every time something goes on in Champaign, she's always calling me, Mom, there was a girl down here, and her boyfriend killed her. I said, oh my God, send me the link. So she sent me the link, and I look over, I pray on it, I put it on my page, and then I try to figure out how can I get to Champaign and talk to some people and do whatever have you. Well, here we go, 2 weeks later, my godmother calls talking about, when we was in Champaign, we had to bury Wayne's niece because her boyfriend killed her. I said, send me the link, Mom. The same person. So I do things called intimate conversations. Group of people, probably not more than this, to have a conversation, because it all starts with us talking about it. If we talk about it and let people know that we really are here to help, if we're not here to judge, if we're here to bring about awareness, like you say, I think that we can get a grasp on it. What blessed me more so, and it took me a minute because, like I said, I'm a God-fearing woman, I'm Christian, I believe what the Bible says, but I also know that we are to love like God loves. and we're not to bring judgment. So I understand for me, my preference is to be heterosexual. But I still love somebody who decides that they decide to do same gender, or even if they think they're transgender. And I have no judgment for you. I just have to love you with the love of Christ. That's my job. But it was challenging for me when I had a transgender call me to say, hey, we need you to come speak at our event. I'm like, you need me to come speak at that? And it's like, we need you to come speak at our event. We love what you did at that one event with all the kids, and we just think that you should come speak at our event. So I had to go home and do some real praying. Because, what's the word I'm looking for? Indirectly, sometimes we have speech that offends when we don't mean to offend. So I had to go home and check my language, making sure I'm not calling no he or she when she really wants to be called a he, and vice versa. And then I had to make sure that I don't say anything to offend that community. Came off kind of without a hitch. I learned a lot that night. And what I also learned was they probably have more abuse than heterosexual people, because they definitely don't report it. Because if they get reported and people go to jail, they have to deal with a whole other thing, because now they're in jail with a whole bunch of men or females that don't accept them the way they are, and now they're being beat for something that they really won't say necessarily don't have no control over, but a lifestyle they chose to be in. So they're judged on a whole different level. So that's really it. I mean, like I said, I try to make this light. It's not a light subject at all. I thank God that He has me here to speak, and I promise you, I'm just like I said, I'm very transparent, I'm very open. People can call and ask me anything. There's been many times that I want to put down this mantle and say the heck with it. But the minute I say I'm gonna do that, somebody like Keisha call and be like, hey, come speak. Somebody will call and say, hey, I got a friend who needs your help. Or, hey, do you have any money in the organization? I need to move this woman with her children. Or, hey, and I always have to turn back and realize why God saved me and spared my life, and realize this is what I'm supposed to do. So For My Voice Matters is my baby. My long-term goal is to be the Harriet Tubman of domestic violence. There are so many people who have no way out. They don't have any family in the city. They have no way out. They don't have nobody to support them, but they need to move. So it's my desire to start programs. So that's why I toured last year with my book, to make connections in other cities, so that I can, if this young lady say, hey, Renee, I need to get out of the city, I don't have no family, me and my kids gotta go, I'll be able to give her grant money and say, hey, I'm gonna pick you up and put you on this bus, this plane, this train, and I'm gonna take you to New York. And in New York, Betty Sue is gonna meet you. Betty Sue's gonna put you in housing temporarily for this reason. She's gonna hook you up with all the resources you need, get your kids in school, this, that, and the other. And I know that it can be done. It just takes time, it takes conversation, it takes connection. So I thank God for all the connections that I make. My book is a book about my stories, available on Amazon. That's not a shameless plug, it's just the truth. It has a lot of resources and it tells my story, but it's more so also about looking for signs in any, and it can help you with any relationship, not just domestic abusive relationships, but any relationship. How to look for signs for negative, any negative relationships, stop signs, roll signs. We look at everyday signs. I'm somebody who's very, as you can see, demonstrated. So when I started looking at street signs, I related them to relationships, and I put them in my book. And then there's also resources in the back of the book for every state if you need domestic violence awareness. Lakeisha?
Yes.
I'm blessing you with this gift.
Thank you.
So I don't know. I do this out of fun, the seriousness. But if anybody has any questions, I'm an open book. Then I'm gonna take my seat. But that's really it. I thank you for having me. I thank you all for your attention. I thank you all. Just pray for me as I continue to journey this out. Because like I said, the days I want to put it down are my hardest days. And it's really hard, like I said, when you're trying to wear the mask of always being bubbly, always being happy, and then when life hits you hard, you still got to try to put that on. So, like I said, just keep praying for me. I appreciate you guys would call my name out when you're calling out everybody else's name. It'd be greatly appreciated. So, I don't know if you might have any questions, but I'm